Boys, we're lifting, sipping, and ripping. Holy shit, what's up, my dudes? So this is the RF 450 Pro Heat 2 from last night. This is one of the craziest races I have ever had in this game. One of the craziest comebacks I have ever had in this game. I just had to come in here and show it. I'm getting pressured on the inside, jump in, try to dodge that guy, then I get landed on. Hell yeah, brother. You know, good old MX Sim, you know, first rhythm section on Sim. This is pretty typical right here, okay? So I get back up like, you know, it is what it is. Let's try to get back on the beans, okay? We spilt our tea a little bit. Let's try to chug it, though. And then the same guy that landed on me took me out right here. Oh... I'm really confused by some of you guys that it's like, I don't know if you make it into a lot of main events, but it's kind of apparent that you don't, because if you did make it to some main events, that's kind of, you know, first rule of thumb. You don't ever start trying to make contact on the first lap especially when you're this far back in a heat race. It's just not worth the risk. You make all your passes with people being crashed on the ground. But anyway, just a little word of wisdom to that dude. So, you know, instead of just having the losing 10 seconds from him landing on me, a lot of times guys get kind of frustrated or mad and they feel like you cause them to wreck, and it like, so then they get, you know, kind of get that revenge syndrome going on, and they got to try to take you out in the next corner. So, and then instead of you just losing like 10 seconds, you both end up losing like 20 seconds. And then it's like an absolute, you know, sprint fest trying to make it into the main event. Luckily, this track right here was actually really good in the sense of if you had some bad luck or you got taken out, it really didn't matter because there was so many different places on the track you could make up time. I was actually pretty happy with this 2024 Daytona right here. Way better. We're talking mountains better than that bullshit-ass Arlington track that they made last week. This is way better than that. But this is definitely one of those tracks to me that it felt more skill-based than like luck-based as far as getting into the main event from the heat race, you know what I'm saying? Interestingly enough, all of the main events that I have missed this year so far have all been on the smaller scaling, easier, everybody's hitting the same exact lines and nobody's really crashing. Those are all the tracks that I have struggled to make it in on, like, for instance, you know, Detroit, Arlington, those sort of easier tracks, right? But you start getting on, like, the Glendales and the Daytona. What the hell was this guy doing? I have no idea, but here we go. It's like, you know, double pop-off in the first two sections, almost caught back up to a transfer spot, and then that guy's sideways after the whoops, nowhere to go, and he does it last second where I just couldn't tell that he was going to do that at all. Felt like I was in 04 right there, just going to be honest with you. So then we fall back to damn near dead last again. This is a from dead last on lap 3, can you still make it to the main event, Spency boy? At this point I was thinking there ain't no way in hell. There's just no way. Had this kind of stuff happened on a track like Detroit or Arlington or something like that, I just wouldn't have made it to the main event. You can only get away with this kind of stuff on the more skill gap, difficult tracks where there's more chance of the people crashing in front of you, right? And this Daytona certainly had plenty of that. So luckily for the type of track we were on here, it sort of allowed for this kind of a comeback ride right here. But at this point in my head, I was thinking, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. So something else that was really cool about this track right here was the layout of it really gave me those 2015 RF Daytona kind of vibes. like around the finish line jump. If any of you guys remember back in those days to that track, aka the first pro race that I ever did in this game where I made it to the main event right away, taking Spency Boy way back, bro. That's really cool. Just something that I noticed about it, just how you come across finish line jump and how that sweeps around, you know. So worked out pretty decent right here. I was running in 12th. It's like, you know, you go from damn near dead last to a transfer spot in one lap if you just keep it on two wheels on a track like this. I knew it was all going to really come down to this rhythm right here. I had a super consistent line as I don't even hit it right here. I think, yeah, there was a guy down in front of me. You know, got to know when to hold them, when to fold them in a heat race, or you will crash to the point where you can't get in. But that rhythm right there, I knew just from experience, I knew how tricky that rhythm was. I knew that's basically what it was going to come down to in this heat race. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to say like no other part of the track really matters or anything other than that, but I'm telling you that's kind of what it felt like in this heat race. It felt like long as I get through that one rhythm before that giant single, at least halfway decent every lap, and I avoid, you know, running into people on it, then I'm pretty much going to make it in. And that's exactly what happened here. Didn't really matter what else I was doing on any other part of the track. And this is a good little example of, you know, don't ever give up in a heat race, man. I mean, I don't care how many times you think you've crashed or went down or ran into somebody or gotten bad luck or bad starts or whatever. You got to push till that very end, man. You know, you got to go till the wheels fall off. So at this point, I'm running in 10th place. To be completely honest with you, I don't even think I looked at the pit board like at all this race. I was just focused on keep that finger down on that throttle trigger. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have time to look at what position I was in. Yeah, so in the main event, came from dead last all the way back up to 4th. I really thought we was going to have like a top 5 finish there. And then I just randomly get absolutely killed on a jump face. Nothing I could do. Couldn't see it at all in first person. But yeah, man, we're making some good changes. I just feel like a couple more clicks and I'll have it back to that old school 16, 17 Spency Boy kind of finishes in the main events. We're really close to it, boys. Really close. It's always better to at least make it through instead of look like you're going really fast. You know what I'm saying? And we also couldn't hit in the middle of the split lane section there like we were doing in qualifying for the racing. So, yeah, I'm running in 9th right here. Not gonna lie, palms are sweating out a little bit of tea. Just like make it in, Spence. You ain't gotta do anything too crazy. Felt like I got bumped a little in that corner right there. That could have been totally my imagination. But obviously we're running last transfer position, like holy shit. You know, little bit nerve-wracking, little bit, oh my god, just stay on this motherfucker. I had to focus right here in this rhythm. Another guy down. So then it turned out to be like, oh, not too bad, you know? It's crazy, man. Some tracks, it's like it's all based upon your track position, and then other kind of tracks, it's like that doesn't matter at all, you know? It's just kind of, I don't know. All the tracks have been a little bit different in that sense. Some of them have that kind of bigger, different jump rhythms and skill gap where you can come from the back. Some of them you can't really do that. The ones where everybody's running the exact same lap time, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, bro. Hell yeah, dog. P8, baby. Straight to the main, boys. That's how you have the absolute most terrible start that you could ever possibly have, and then run into a guy that's sideways on lap 3 and pop off again and still make it to a main event. This is how you do it, boys.